Hi there. This video is about the finer points of maintaining our balance when we are swimming. Okay, uh, did you notice that when swimmers, say people who are doing the front crawl are swimming, they tend to rotate, about this axis, they rotate, and the shoulders rotate as they breathe, I mean, it's not like the neck is twisting so much, but rather the shoulders are rotating so that you can come up for air, So, and the shoulders are also rotating because the hips are rotating, So they are actually rotating together. And the hips are rotating because somehow with your legs, when you're doing the flutter kick, two-beat kick or something like that, you create that rotation. And that helps a lot, and people say when you rotate your hips, then when you're doing the pull, the corkscrew, then there's more power in the pull of when you're pulling down on the water, pulling yourself forward. Yeah, so it all works together that way. So if there's this rotation or this kind of like rocking, then it helps to bring stability as well as power to the front crawl, to your freestyle when you swim. And that's not the only rocking movement that is happening. If you observe closely, you will find that many swimmers, including myself, our head is going down a bit, and then it goes up a bit, and it goes down a bit, and when the legs, and then it goes up again. But when the head is going down below the water, you'll realize that okay, maybe the hands have come up, so it pushes it down. But then the legs pop up. I mean, they are doing the flutter kick at the back, and then suddenly you see the heel coming out, of the water droplet, and it disappears for a while. Then it goes in a cycle, and suddenly they appear again, and the head goes down again. So there's also this rocking motion in this direction, even like an undulation of a dolphin kick, except that this happens throughout the entire length of the body. In undulation, you would bend your waist, you would bend your, certain other parts of the body to create an S wave. Yeah. But here you have something that's straight, flat, rigid, but it's rocking as well. And this rocking also gives a lens stability to the stroke when you are swimming, especially when you have to breathe, come up, down, and yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a lot to keep your legs also close to the surface of the water. So there are two types of rocking. One like this, another one like this, Yeah, and it all works well. I don't know the exact physics regarding it. It's too hard to work it out. I mean, I'm not a professor, but this is very, very interesting. And then you can compare, say, the gyroscopic effect of, say, you have maybe a flywheel that is spinning quite fast, maybe spinning, and then in a boat, and it can act as a stabilizer. It stabilizes the roll of the boat, and the ocean waves come, and then people are getting seasick. You have that kind of gyroscope on board, a small one to detect how it's moving, and a big one to offer an opposing torque to counter the roll, so that the boat stays more or less, doesn't rock so much, doesn't roll so much. So that can be one application of a gyroscope that brings balance or better stability. There's also autopilot. You heard about flying machines, spacecraft, aircraft, and you have the artificial horizon. You have not the altimeter. Altimeter works with the calibration against air pressure, how high you are. But the artificial horizon is not altitude, but probably I saw in Google attitude. Yeah, the direction you're heading. So if you make changes in your direction and all that, there's a way that this kind of thing, this device can sense it, and it tells you how to redirect yourself, you know, in case you're going off course or going against what was the intended course. So yeah, that's also one more application of the gyroscope in flying objects. And then we have, of course, our inner ear. Yeah, inner ear. Yeah, the part that senses sound, of course, and there's another part that's responsible for balance on left and right. So you have stereo audio perception, but also stereo here for maintaining balance. You know, relative to one another, you get the relativity, and then somehow it can be calibrated to keep you in upright. Yeah. When you have too much to drink, then it goes out of calibration, and then maybe you start to go a bit wobbly, and then you can't figure out. Yeah, you can't get things done more that precisely, so it'll be just with more offset. Okay, so then you have, of course, the inner ear. Inner ear. I read somewhere in Google, vestibular movement of fluids inside some tubes, you know. So can you imagine a gyroscope in your head spinning like this? I don't think so. Yeah, if something is spinning in there, you get very dizzy. I don't think anything is spinning like your brains are not spinning there in there like a washing machine. Ah, yeah, just talking about washing machines. Yeah, yeah, that's centrifugal force, right? I mean, you spin dry something, it throws out the water. So if you had say half a coconut shell or a hemisphere, which is empty, of course, and you put a marble inside, you know, just a glass marble that kids play with, you know, and then you start to spin it around that coconut shell, you know. You'll find that the faster you spin, the higher the marble rides closer and closer to the rim of that bowl or coconut shell, you know, half a coconut shell. So yeah, so the speed is throwing it's giving the marble its momentum or the energy for it to throw itself further and further away from the center of the this central vertical axis of the bowl. So I think when you spin something fast, you will have some kind of angular torque or some kind of you can create precession, no? If there's other forces also acting on the moving object. For example, gravity. So gravity is always there, you know. Yeah, I mean on the surface of the earth there's gravity, so there's more than one force at play. Okay, I mean not just stick moving, but there's also it's moving relative to uh, okay, gravity is also playing its role, yeah, somewhere. So it's all a mishmash combination of forces. So since our fluids are not going like this inside, I think when you make a change of direction, whether you tilt forward or you go this way or you go sideways, the fluids inside, like now those little tubes, the fluids inside those little tubes, those vestibular system or whatever, it's like a spirit balance, you know. And there are little hairs inside, it seems, and there are nerves as well, so they can sense how you are tilting yourself. And this speed of this movement, if it's fast and all that, then it will create a different kind of gyroscopic effect on the nerves that are surrounding the whole system. So you can figure out the um, yeah the change of direction that you are taking. So that helps you with your balance. Okay, it's very complicated. Maybe I didn't get it right, but this is something like it. You know? So I cannot imagine the fluids in your inner ear spinning like this. You know? It's probably a slower spinning, rocking. If you suddenly went rapidly, you know, like that, you will also sense it. Then you will see that gyroscopic effect with the momentum of the water and all that, the angular torque, you know, that is created with respect to gravity, and then relative to gravity, and then somehow those nerves around the hairs around that those vestibular system tubes, whatever, they can sense it and they know, you know. It's just like like the autopilot of the aircraft. And finally, okay, we mentioned three things. Finally, you have the cosmic system. You know, we are on planet Earth, and planet Earth rotates. You know, it spins about its axis. Uh-huh. And for sure, and is it acted upon by any kind of gravity? Yeah, why not? The sun. We are a satellite of the sun, so it goes around the sun. So it's spinning about its axis and it's rotating around the sun. So again, maybe precession, angular torque. These things, these forces could be at play. I'm not 100% sure, but could be. So at the cosmic level or macrocosmic level, we see this too. You know, we see outside huge things moving, and we are the children of this earth. You know, we are somehow constructed in such a way that we built up with the elements of the earth, and then we become this human being. You know, maybe with spirit inside. I don't know, but yeah, we are mind, body, spirit, that kind of thing. You know, everything working together. Yeah. So then we have the chakra system. You know. You know, I listened to those internet videos, talked about not just the 7 major chakras, but you have, 112 chakras inside the body, 2 outside, 114. Okay, I don't know the exact figures, but something like that. Can't remember those figures. Too many to remember. But one good guru, he mentioned that you don't need all of them to fire. You know, you just or to be able to be free. If you can have enough, let's say 1/3 of them or 1/4 of them are already like firing or able to, you know, to articulate with one another, you're already in good shape. And not most normal people just live a very good life with that many degrees of freedom, you know, internally somehow. So you have less, not too much friction to deal with internally, but enough to enable a decent, happy life, you know. Yeah, physical life maybe, even spiritual life. So that's what I gleaned from the internet, and thanks, good information. And then the yeah, and then there was also the mention that the chakra is a triangle. So we always saw chakra, you know, Sanskrit or Hindi means wheel, wheel. And then people talk about spinning chakras, you know. Do you really think you have something spinning that fast inside? Maybe, you know, hypothetically, maybe metaphorically, but physically, obviously not. Otherwise, you'll be scrambled up, you know. Yeah. No, you don't want to be like yeah, yeah, put into a say blender, you know. So the chakra inside you, if it's going to work well, it's obviously just rotating like a bullock cart wheel, you know, like a wheel like that. It's not spinning, rotating, and it's not going to rotate by itself. It's probably rotating in conjunction with 112. So yeah, other chakras. So how it's able to link itself, yoke itself, yoga, you know. Yeah. So let's say we have a system, body system internally. Okay, it's full of cartilage, full of ligaments and tendons and nerves and bones, of course, around the bones and the cartilages. So there's an entire linkage, you know, more or less. You can even say it's a mechanical system with a lot of intricate, we say, intricate mechanisms inside, you know, somehow around those bones, ligaments, tendons, cartilage, everything, you know, and how and the muscles too, you know, the muscles provide fixation and also movement. You could statically keep a muscle tense, you know, 2 muscles tense, and then you get the isometric exercises, you know, you hold, press, you know, bull worker, you know, that kind of thing, yeah, and you leave it there, you know, and then there's a training effect on the muscles, for example, but it's static, you know, you don't really move it. Then there's standard weightlifting, you know, you do a bicep curl, you know, you curl, And when you curl, you also twist, do a bit of rotation of your, you know, because people say your biceps, when they contract, they actually rotating your this part, the forearm, you know. So when you do a curl, you do like this. So it's like I remember when you are doing your hips are rotating, then your arms are going down, you know. So it's just almost the same thing, you know. So you something like that twist is creating other kinds of movement in other directions. So we have all those chakras and they are moving in relation to one another. So if you were totally free, you know, if you had 112 all firing, then you are perfect. Yeah, very good. Yeah, but usually most of us have, again, I give you a exhibit, an exhibit. This is parcel string, cotton, and I tied a knot here to make a loop, but then in the middle I also tied one more knot, did not. So I assume that we have lots of these in between. No? We don't have so many free moving chakras. So if this chakra was to rotate, and somebody said it was a triangle, right? Not really a wheel. Okay. So let's say it's a triangle. Let's say it's like that. And if it's going to rotate, it will do this kind of thing, you know. See? Like that. So this chakra maybe is rotating against some other chakra down there, and they are, you can even have it like that. See? They can change roles and then they can start doing things like that. And you see when they can do this, your body begins to do this, you know. You can do this kind of thing, see? And it goes all the way down to the feet, you know. If you don't have too many of these knots in the middle, you can go all the way to the feet from the top right to the feet, fingertips all the way to the feet. All the 5 appendages that are poking out like a turtle, you know, out of your body. Turtle has a tail, but okay, your tail is hidden, is in the tailbone, sacrum. But anyway, everything can be connected, and when they connect, then it's good because you got less resistance. Because then you have, you know, if this is just doing this against a knot over here, then you have more problems, you know. This will be more difficult to go around. Yes, probably more constriction, more limitation, more restriction. But if you take this away, you manage to untangle it or some reason, you know, and then you did this, it will become easier, see, because you don't have this thing, this neck here, you know, this constriction. And then the top part could easily connect to the bottom part. Say somewhere here, it could connect to somewhere down at the pelvic floor and so on. You know, so that's the whole system of yoking or integration of the internal, what people say, energetics of the body. If you're really good at that, then okay, then you reach higher levels of mastery on regarding body control, and you go into kung fu, then you have more kung fu. You know, it's like one master once said, or he was quoted by one of his students, the more strings you reconnect, the more strings you reconnect, the stronger you're gonna get. Yeah, you know, when you pull a net, right? Jala is net, right? You pull a net. Is a net one long string, one thick rope? Yeah, maybe in the trawler, you know, if you're trawling with a huge net, drag net, you know, whatever net from a boat, then maybe at first that rope. But if you are just using a net that you are walking manually, you know, at the beach or close to the shore, you would have a net where you have a lot of string coming up from it. They emanate, they originate from where you are pulling, and then they spread out, you know, they to the various. I mean, the net is huge, right? So when you gather together, it comes out like this. So the more strings you're going to attach to yourself up here, it gets much more energized. So the more strings you attach right to the bottom, and if you hit the bottom, you know, you hit the pelvic floor, it extends out, just like earlier on I said that the heart extends out to the fingers. If you can reconnect to the pelvic floor, it will extend out to the feet. And at the feet, that's the soles of the foot, of the feet. Yeah, you will have then a very good root to the earth. Yeah, you would have very good rooting, and meaning that your entire foot will become pliable, soft, able to grip, very good grip, balanced, and very strong. Yeah, and okay, that's how it works. I mean, that this is the whole idea. You know, if you want to gain more mastery over the body, you have to reconnect the body. That is how it works. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. So thanks for listening and take care. Cheers.